Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, everybody is talking about going organic. We're going to meet a man who doubled down on that. He bought a farm and he is truly 100% organic. His journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, this next segment, this might be a real life green acres because I like organic food, but I couldn't see myself moving to a farm. Nestor Estrada did just that. He bought a farm and it's called Bella Hampton Farm. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you, Jeff, for having me.
I want to hear your journey. So you grew up in Guatemala?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Guatemala City.
And so were you around animals? And
Yes.
Okay.
My family had a coffee plantation in Guatemala, a small operation, and we had horses and cattle. But I wasn't allowed to take care of them. I was just allowed to look.
And does it feel like your life is coming full circle?
I mean, yes. From waking up to feeding the pigs to feeding the horses. I mean, it's just crazy.
Sure. And now, have you always been kind of an organic guy?
I have. I mean, my husband and I try to eat as the best that we can as possible.
Yes.
With the food prices going crazy at the moment, it's kind of hard. But we've always kind of focused on what is good for our body.
Okay, so COVID comes along and you say, guess what?
Yes, COVID comes along and we're stuck at home and in our beautiful home in Oak Cliff that we had just finished remodeling. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, I think this is time. It's the time to secure ourselves, to have our own food, to learn how to grow and to manage.
We're going to show a couple pictures of Bella Hampton Farm. And so when you look at these pictures, I mean, is there a learning curve? I mean, you just picked up and you bought a farm. Were there any surprises?
A lot of surprises. From the weather, from that 2020 horrible ice storm that we had that was like 3 feet of snow,
yes,
to learning how to, keep the animals' water unfrozen, feeding them, keeping them in shelter. It was a huge shock.
And you, what are we looking at here?
That's my baby goat.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Okay. And then will you the stuff that you grow on the farm? Then you sell it at local like farmers markets and stuff?
Yes, we've actually started growing our own chickens.
No
so
kidding.
It's a different type of chicken breed that it's a Cornish mix Cornish hen mix. I forgot,
Sure.
but it's a special breed that all they do is get fat. So
Really?
in about 8 to 10 weeks, we're ready to take them to slaughter.
No kidding. Now,
So it's a really quick turnaround.
I know you were telling me right before the show that there's a lot of people out there trying to get chickens or even renting chickens. Okay, what is your problem with people who are suddenly trying to,
It's
buy
just the
chickens?
education.
Yeah.
For example, like you order chicks off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pick them up from the mail. You have less than, I think, 24 hours to make sure that they drink water. You have to dip their beak in the water.
Yeah.
Then you have to take care of them for 6 months until they actually give you back 1 egg.
So financially, it really doesn't work to...
It doesn't. I
yeah.
mean, my husband and I talk about the finances daily.
Right.
But it's a little overwhelming with the prices of wood going up, the prices of everything, and trying to come up with good, simple ways of getting things done, but making sure that the wind doesn't knock it over.
Right. Well, tell me about the organic scene in Dallas. Is it fairly vibrant? I mean, when I think about organic, I think about maybe Austin. Maybe,
Completely.
Right.
We lived in Austin for about 9 years, and that's where, in the backyard, we rented a house in South Austin, and I was able to have 55 chickens.
Wow.
So it was back in 2011, I believe. So we started selling our dozen chicken eggs like $6 a dozen because
Wow.
it was, Yes, it was not the prices that we have now, but before it was like people would see what we would do with the chickens and really love on the chickens to the point they're like, okay, the eggs taste the love that you put into it.
And not only is it clean and not processed, but it is friendly to the animals. And there's probably horror stories that you could tell me. This is a family show, but the way we get our meat and all of that stuff, some people say it's almost torturing the animals.
You know, I've seen the videos that PETA puts out. They're a little over the top. But I am a firm believer. You taste how the animal was raised. And I believe that that's why our eggs taste incredibly good, because of all our chickens are basically free roaming the whole farm. I mean, we have 10 acres, and I swear to God, sometimes I see them in the back. And some neighbors have been kind of saying, hey, you need to put them up because people are now trying to steal chickens. And so now it's like, great.
Now, do you feel a little bit like Green Acres? Or
Yes.
You're kind of a city boy.
I am completely a city boy. I mean, I love to dress up. I mean, I love my pieces of Louis Vuitton, but that's just so in the past now. It's kind of, you know.
I get it. So we've got some video from a farmer's celebration of wine and food. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Chef for Farmers is an incredible, just full-packed weekend or week that Iris Midler put together, and it was an incredible opportunity for me to get involved because it's kind of like chefs, well-known chefs from Dallas, basically order what you're growing and then they cook for people to taste all day long. Cool. And it was a really, really good networking event for me to, you know, get back to the people that I knew, but it's been years since COVID. I haven't gone out or anything. And so it was amazing for that. Out of that, I met Paige from Tito's Vodka, which they're sponsoring our April 15th event. We're going to have a whole pig roast.
Really?
And yes. And for barbecue, and Bubba is actually going to be cooking. Really? They're out of Mavic.
Now, if you go to your website, can you sign up or get your newsletter?
If you go to our website right now, because of all the FDA rules and everything we're trying to comply, all you can do is just sign up for our newsletter, which is basically our menu. At bellahampton.com, you can sign up and receive our menu when we're going to be in Dallas next so that you can pre-order for whenever we're actually there.
All right, where do you see, I mean, you're still a young man, where do you see this journey taking you? You've got 10 acres now, I mean, do you imagine having other farms, or what do you see for yourself?
You know, our really good friends just bought 10 acres next door, so now our property became 20.
Wow. After,
we figure out the structure of their property, we're going to start dividing the pastures. I rescued, because I just showed up with it one day, a Persian horse, which he's 19 hands. So this thing is like 1,600 or 1,700 pounds.
No kidding.
And he eats like an elephant.
And I get the feeling you're doing a lot of this hard work yourself.
Yes.
This is those nails look good.
I cleaned them so well. I was like, I need a brush because I cannot show up with my nails, but there's a little dirt.
That's great. Well, Nestor, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to end with the website, which is bellahampton.com. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.